Well, welcome, lovely souls. Hope you're all doing well. Been feeling a real need to come on and share what is being presented to itself like little jigsaw puzzle pieces. And the best way I seem to do this for myself is going live. So here I am. And my hope, my intention is to bring these little jigsaw puzzle pieces and present them with still not the finished picture, yet kind of give you an idea of what's happening energetically, how that processes through us mentally, emotionally, and physically, and how things are playing out for us individually, and how that, as this collective of individuals, gets shown out into communities and out into the world. And really how we navigate it. And I can only share that from my experiences and how I'm being shown to do this. You can always decide how you do that, which is the first thing that comes to me, is that your choice is your power. And the awareness that you have choices becomes your superpower. And we have been conditioned in a way that we don't have choices. And fear is the instigator that has us believe we don't have choices. So there's aspects that I want to really show. So in how I bring this in together, we have what we call a war energy going on individually for ourselves and collectively, and is showing itself as war. So the war for us individually is our head and our heart, how that is playing out, our inner conflict, how we sit into the pushing and the doing rather than the being, rather being in the present moment as often as we can, how we deny our dreams, we deny our desires because we believe they're not possible. Somewhere in our conditioning, we have been told they're just dreams and they cannot come to fruition, that you're wasting your energy and your time in dreaming. Yet dreaming is when we're at our most creative, where our minds are open to intuitive downloading, and being able to see things from a greater perspective. So when we're in our creative energy, we are opening both hemispheres of our brain. We start to bring a collective of senses that come in, that enables us to explore and to grow and to see, like I say, things from a different perspective. We also have this victim perpetrator energy running through our systems, in ourself, in our own energetic systems, and also in our collective infrastructures, which we are seeing playing out. I'm also going to share what happened to me when I was in Sardinia, and the words that have been coming through as an ancient language, and what that means and what we're going to be seeing too. So I'll start with that actually, because this happened to me summer solstice last year, and started really channeling a language that wasn't really known to me, still isn't known to me. It feels very deep Egyptian, very ancient energy, which I am bringing into my Pajama Revolution meditations. They are like healing codes that come through. And this thing that kept going through my mind was Untale, Sikuntale, Sikuntale, Sikada. Untale, Sikuntale, Sikuntale, Sikada. And that got, fortunately, translated for me, is an ancient or old Sardinian saying that says, can you count cicadas? Yes, you can. So that got me to look into what are cicadas? I didn't know at that time. They are actually little beautiful insects, creatures that live underground, that only come out in a 13 or 17-year cycle. And so they're prime cycles, which kind of throws off the predator because they can't go in sync with that prime number. But also they come up in masses. So they count the sap from the roots every spring to record the year, the cycle. And then when it's actually their turn to come up, they come up in masses, okay? And that is again another technique of pushing and throwing the predators off them. So not only do they change their cycles, so they can't regulate and form into them, they also come out in mass, okay? This uprising from the earth. And these two cycles are actually due together. The 13 and the 17-year cycles are due together. They are due to come out in May. So what does that mean? Where am I going with this? So if you get the energy and the understanding behind this, is that we have something happening in May this year, 2024, that hasn't happened for 221 years. That's when the two cycles actually come together, which wasn't until, that was 1803. So what happened in 1803 was England declare war on France, on Napoleon, and Louisiana state of America, and a large area of the state, was purchased illegally by the Americans from France that had kind of taken it from Spain. So we've seen this movement of land and ownership of land going from one to the next, one to the next. We are seeing war. And ultimately, war generally comes down to land and religion, or religion is used for the land, basically. So that's the essence of that's what happened. It's coming back to us again this time. But how are we going to play that out? And this mass numbering, this mass numbers coming up from the earth really gives me this essence of revolution. I keep feeling a revolution for evolution. Now, revolution can be seen as a negative, off of your heads, etc., and very aggressive. But if you see it, if you literally drop the R off it, it means evolution. It's the catalytic movement to bring in evolution. So we are going through a huge heart-conscious heart awakening at present. It's going in phases, and more people are waking up. Whether you want to call that spiritually, or they are literally looking around them going, what the fuck is happening with this world? Why is life hard? Why are there energy companies earning billions and our houses, our homes, our lands are burning? Why is this happening? How can that happen when we can have such polarity in terms of wealth? And this is going to be playing out. This is going to keep people waking up. And often you'll start seeing people waking up and they're seeing it outside in the world going, this isn't right. This doesn't align to me. This doesn't feel good to me. The war's going on right now doesn't align to most people. This is not our choice. This is not what we want. We are starting to see that war after war doesn't create anything, never creates a peace. So we will be seeing that. Others may not even be really paying much attention to it. However, I would say that's probably more the minority. I think the majority of us are starting to become, this doesn't align to us. Some, it may need to be taken on our actual earth ourselves, on our own land, on our own doorsteps, until it actually affects us. It's like the health of our planet. Not until people recognize that the health of our planet is intrinsic to our own health. We're seeing 1 in 2 cancer, people getting cancer. It used to be 1 in 10 not so long ago. We're seeing neurodiversity increasing significantly in our young. And there's a flip side to that, which I won't necessarily go into, but there's also a blessing with that. But we also need to understand why that's happening. And the lot of that is due to our health of our planet, the toxicity that we're bringing into our lands, into our plastic, into our blood, into our environments. And it's probably people won't step up until it starts affecting their health. However, we need to also be looking at revolutionizing and changing our systems and how we produce our food and how we treat our water. We need to start waking up to this and start putting actions into place. Now, for that to happen, we have to believe that our own individual action can make change. And it depends where we come from. It depends if we just get angry or we just don't think we have anything. We're hopeless. So we have to break through, as I mentioned, this victim energy cycle, this victim perpetrator cycle. We are breaking through this victim energy and knowing that we have a choice. Knowing that there's a collective of individuals is very powerful. Going back to the cicadas, when people are coming together from a heart conscious perspective, not just for their own individual wants, but for the whole collective, they desire change, they want inner peace, yet they want outer peace. This is when there's a mass movement which comes from love, it comes from the heart, it's not fear. Outer movement from anger is fear. Yet anger internalized and processed is absolutely powerful. It's self-love that's coming up through you to say, enough is enough. This has to stop. Now, you either continue to stay in anger because you think you can't do anything about it and you're in that hopelessness, which is like a volcano trying to erupt inside your body. So from a health perspective, it's going to be hugely inflammatory for you, which is like the root of disease and illness. So we have to find a way to express that, which is throat chakra. Okay, again, our voice is our power. So we have to enable this. We have to listen to what we're feeling, what is triggering us, what is waking up inside us, and do we keep it submerged in anger and helplessness, which actually takes us either in fight, flight, over into freeze mode, which is so detrimental to our health and our nervous system. So we, again, like I say, we need to come back and break through this victim energy, which is telling you in your subconscious that you have no choice, that you have to just put up with what is happening. And that is fear. That is the illusion. And to know that actually you're not on your own. And this is, again, the head and the heart energy of this, well, how can I do anything about it? Yet my heart is desiring this. And how I see that physically at the moment is probably if you're getting this, what they call the 100-day cough, it's this bouncing from the head of like a cold to the heart with a cough. It's this keeping bouncing, this ping pong that's happening between the two. And it's not until the throat that is open that becomes the outlet to release it. So to recap, really what's happening, there's mass revolution coming up. There's a mass energy of force coming up. We are seeing fifth dimensional forces affecting the neurons and atoms and photons in science. We're seeing it in quantum physics. So it's affecting us. So there's this mass energy that is coming up through us, whether it's from the earth, however you want to feel it, that it's less volcanic, movement, this eruption that's coming through. It's about opening your sacral, your desires to come up. It's about feeling safe, but connecting deeper to the earth. So you feel safe in that connection, not in the infrastructures that have been built upon fear. So it's really a breaking free, not breaking down, but we will feel it as overwhelm. You can feel it as anxiety, our whole adrenals and fatigue, if we aren't being conscious of what is happening. And this uprising, we're feeling it individually, and it's going to come through collectively. We are also in the wood dragon in the Chinese year, which means revolution. It means equality. It means bringing confidence. It's also, from a spiritual aspect, it's about awakening. It's about bringing in tuition to you, which can be mind through the crown, but also in your gut. It's about your gut intuition, your inner tutor. It's activating your solar plexus, and your solar plexus is where your immune system is, but it's also your energy to do something, to put what you have created in terms of desires and dreams into motion and to form it. So it's really about aligning to your heart, aligning to what you dream, to what you desire, to break from your mind that tells you you cannot have that, and to really align to your heart as to what really serves you. What serves you and what serves the collective. Because this isn't a game that we're on our own to doing. This isn't the competition that we're constantly forced that, you get ahead of everybody else, you will be okay. It isn't that. We are coming through as a collective, and happiness can only be created if we're all in that space. So what is it that you desire? Why do you desire? Understand the levels and the energy behind it. When you find those desires, sit with it and what it creates emotionally for you. How does it feel in your body? Does it feel expansive in your heart? Does it make your reproduction organs wake up and feel excited? Is it like a pleasure from it? There's just like a feel it in your body. Really understand yourself, because we have to get out of our heads and into our bodies. This is our wisdom center, is our innate wisdom. We have to go beyond telling ourselves or being allowed to be told what we should think and feel it in ourselves. We need to start learning and listening to our bodies to give us that innate wisdom and to ground us and to hold that space, that axis of trust in ourselves. And this is something that we have to grow. I'm working on. So we have a wood dragon year that doesn't happen. It happens only every 60 years, okay? The last time that happened was 1964, where the civil rights movement was going, and Martin Luther King, I Have a Dream. So this is about setting your dreams. Get beyond the mind going, well, how's that going to happen? Come back into what it is that really lights you up. What gives you purpose? What are you aligned to? Because when we're aligned, we are working neurally in coherence of our bodies. And when we're in coherence, we're in flow. And when we're in flow, everything is effortless. It's like, the brakes are off. If you think of the brakes being permanently on, or take it to a car where you've put your foot on the accelerator, but your foot's on the brake because you're fearful of it as well, you're going to knacker that car. And again, it's the same for your body, that if you're pushing and driving from a fear base, you're going to be completely out of alignment. If you're coming from a love base and your higher soul and your spirit base, and you're aligning to that, you're just going to be in your flow. And I have been feeling this head and heart tussle of the having to do things, to think that the things that actually ever happen is you have to do it yourself, which is actually a survival pattern as well. But it's a knowing that you can sit back and more in trust, that actually allow in the universe. We allow in these miracles when we look beyond what we think is our singularity and know that we're in this field of consciousness. We can change that. We're in this ocean, and when we're aligning in our energetic vibration, we put a transmission out into that. Those transmissions oscillate with the same frequencies. We create a tsunami. So it's really about tuning in and setting your desires and your dreams, and not just for yourself, but what you want to see in the collective. And like I say, when it's a more heart conscious and more soul aligned, it just happens, it just flows. Yet we have to go through the conditioning, the subconscious belief systems that have us believe it can't happen. And that's when meditation comes in beautifully, when having breath and just self-reflection work and tuning into your body is so vital, because it will tell you. It will tell you from whether it feels off or whether it actually feels, oh no, that feels good. Slightly anxious in terms of getting butterflies in my stomach, but it's excitement, it's not fear. And it's listening to your body and observing your body, which is my love to heal aspects that I, with the course and with the retreats that I do, it's how I work on my one-to-one. It's about listening to your body and observing it. And then the visualization is when you create those neural pathways that you desire. So astrologically, hopefully you're still with me with this. We have got Pluto coming into Aquarius, which is all about mass releasing of, it's been going through Capricorn. I'm not going to go into too much because it's not my field of expertise, but it's basically, since 2008, it's been going through the whole patriarchal system, dismantling it. It's now coming into Aquarius, which is all about rebuilding, equality, and liberation and fairness. So it's new moon tomorrow, so that's the 9th of Feb, in Aquarius. So new moon's all about setting your desires, what you dream, what do you want to create in this world? What legacy do you want to leave to this world? Because ultimately, why are we here? Are we really here just to use up all the resources and then bugger off? Get stressed, work hard and die? I don't think so. I think the miracles that we are and the miracles of life, we're here for something greater than that. Yet we have to work through it, work through our health issues, work through our mind issues, work through it. And I believe that we are here to do a lot of healing that humanity has created, like a plaque on Earth. Earth itself can just pop us off and no problem whatsoever, and she'll sort herself out perfectly well. Yet we are children of the Earth as well. So there'll come a point very close, and I've been told 15 years, that if we don't sort ourselves out, it's going to be going in the wrong direction. So we are here to heal these low vibrations that humanity has created through fear, which is the illusion, and to reconnect to who we are, our pureness, our love, joy, and peace. This is what we are. When a baby is born, it's before, when it knows it's being fed and looked after, it will smile. There's so much joy, and that's our natural birthright, and that's what we are. And we need to really find that and ignite that again, and find that curiosity, the dreamers, the ones that think anything can possibly happen, and not have that curtailed and squashed through. That's not possible. You have to squish yourself into this little hole, or this sausage factory called society. And so you can earn money and pay the rich. I won't go on too much, but that's, we need to start looking, asking the questions that our children do. Why? Why? And not return that with just the said narrative. Actually go, yeah, why? Actually, and that will just start unraveling, unpeeling our old belief systems or bullshit, whatever we want to call it, that has been systematically put into ourselves, and also epigenetically. So we carry trauma from a lot through the matriarchal. It is patriarchal as well, but I see it quite a lot from the mother lineage, which is where our microbiome comes from. It actually comes from the mother. And, you know, for women, your ovaries are being formed when you're in the womb of the mother, and it would have done the same for her. So we're connecting through to our grandmothers. So there's a lot for women, which for me leads into the ovaries. For men, it's the testes. So that will be calling itself up for healing as well. So there's many things going on, and I could talk forever, as you obviously know. However, I want to really fine tune this. You will, if you're not already, are waking up. You are going to be becoming more conscious of things. Your heart's going to suddenly be triggered and go, this isn't aligned to me. This doesn't feel right. And you can have the choice to stay in anger and stay in the victim mode, or you can choose and go, right, this anger is there to tell me it means something to me, that there's a part of my self-worth saying, I deserve better, I deserve more, I want equality, whatever it is that's kind of coming through you, and know that you have that power and that choice. So you use the anger as the revolution, the activation within yourself for you to step up into this world empowered, but empowered from a higher perspective, not from an anger or fear. It's actually coming up from a higher perspective to see things from that level, to be able to recognize and see that for that negative to exist, so does the positive. That negative cannot exist unless the positive of that, the opposite of it, exists. So rather than looking at the negative and fueling it with your energy, I don't want this, you decide what you do want. What is the negative? What is the positive? What is the opposite of it? And you put your energy into that, because you go from fight, anger, push, and generating what you don't want, to actually feeling empowered and creating what you do want. And that's how the Infinity Health Hub for me was created. I didn't like the messages of you have no choice in your health and you just got to wait for the pharmaceutical superpowers to come in and save the day. Neither did I like the fact that there wasn't the empowering information that there could have been to help people with their immune systems. So I decided I will create my own. And that's where I am. 4 years later, I've created this platform ready to launch out into the world. So see that, recognize that. And like I say, for science, if you want me to be more scientific, for a negative to exist, so does the positive. So look for the positive. Look for what you can do. Look at the catalyst, the antagonist of that, and put your energy into that, which makes you empowered, that makes you flow, that lights you up. So yes, that is where we're at. We're coming through a revolution to evolve as humanity. And I'm going to leave you with that, to just sit. We're in the dark moon phase of the new moon. So that will often bring up the shadows, the fears, the illusions that we need to acknowledge and heal, so we can set the intentions of what we actually desire. So what if we're feeling like very low and anxious, the nervous system, it's because it's trying to shift out what no longer serves you. And if you can see it as that from more of an objectivity, you can then allow that to pass. It's not a story, it's not your truth. It's an old story, an old illusion, but it isn't your truth. And that is what's coming up to shift, okay? And to put your energy where you can feel the flow, where you can feel that growth, and where your energy is best put towards, okay? First of all, it's always into yourself, to be this sanctuary, this sovereignty of this power. And then by your steps, you become an inspiration for others. And so don't go into the mode of thinking, what can I do? There's a lot you can do, but you start from within first, okay? And I'm going to leave you with something that I wrote a little while ago, as it was intuitively sort of said to me. And it's this victim energy that, like I've said, I've been seeing coming through our systems. The imbalance of power only holds when the collective subconscious belief and consensus is a victim energy of no choice, no voice, no power. As the veil of fear evaporates in heart consciousness, the collective becomes aware that choices have always been present. The individual and collective realization of such is when the balance of inner sovereignty and power tips, the scales to equality, and the beautiful liberation of self and humanity unfolds. So it's in your choice, it's in your power. And have some quiet moments of really aligning to what you desire, what you wish to see in this world, and sow those seeds with the energy of the emotion of love and joy behind them. And it's those that will come to fruition. And rather than just scattering everything, just be discerning of what you desire and why, and you connect into those emotions where those energies, those emotions become the energy in motion, okay? So it's our energetics, it's our emotions that create. So it's aligning to the love, the joy, the peace, that ultimately that's all we desire. Underneath everything that we put and think we need or want, that's what we desire, to come back to our innocence, who we are, our purity. Okay, so I hope this has been of help for you. If you need more support in this, then it's one-to-one. Obviously, I offer my treatments. If you want to explore yourself and more understanding your wisdom, you have the Love to Heal course, which is on the infinityhealthhub.com. You also have the infinityhealthhub.com, it's got some free articles on there as well, which talks about the victim and the perpetrator and martyr energy. And also, if you want to upgrade, you've got the meditations alongside that to really bring in the neuroplasticity to change. And as we're in the pajama revolution, you've also got the meditations that I intuitively channel each time that is relevant at that moment. So give that some thought. And I'm also releasing something called the Return to Innocence, which was brought to me on the 12th of the 12th and the 21st of the 12th. It was like these huge energetic portals about really aligning where we're going to go in life. Is it fear or is it love? And it's being able to break through those old patterning. And actually, one of them was about reconnecting to your source, to God consciousness, to divine, to source. And it was very pure and it was very emotional. So I'll be putting those out very shortly as well. Or all of those, or just spend some time, take some breaths, go into nature, have a bath, have as much connection to nature as you possibly can, because it will ground you. Do meditation, do yoga, so I think more gentle and more flowing and supportive and restorative to give you that space for you to allow whatever is needing to come through you, do so. It could be singing, it could be writing. A dark moon, you could write the things out and burn them and release them into the earth. There's many things that you can do to become more conscious of what's happening for you. Okay, so hope this has been of help. Thank you for listening if you've got this far. And I will be dropping in quite often because it's going to feel quite turbulent, especially come spring with this and May with this uprising. So we need to keep ourselves grounded and aligned and focused. So lots of love and take care.